Hey, this is Nikki with One Life Students. Who's choosing your adventure? When I was a kid, there was a series of books called Choose Your Own Adventure, and they had different titles like Journey Under the Sea or The Abominable Snowman. Well, I went to the library and I was told that those books were too old for them to carry. So I had to find a very dark version, which was actually pretty relevant. Can you survive a virus outbreak? We all did. But the premise of these books is that as you're reading along, you will be presented a choice, and you have to choose one direction or the other, and it will tell you what page to turn to, and the story will continue. Much like our lives, at a certain point in these books, it will become very clear that one path is going to lead to a good ending and the other one is going to lead to destruction. And as a kid, I took pleasure in figuring out which of those paths was going to lead to the right end, and I'd go back and forth trying to make the right decision that would eventually get me to that end. This is very much like our life. When we aren't walking in step with God and allowing Him to guide our path, oftentimes we will choose the path that leads to destruction. In the book of Deuteronomy in the Old Testament, in chapter 30, starting in verse 11, there is a call to us to choose life. And it says this command that I give you today is certainly not too difficult or beyond your reach. It is not in heaven so that you have to ask, who will go up to heaven, get it for us, and proclaim it to us so that we may follow it? And it is not across the sea so that you have to ask, who will cross the sea, get it for us, and proclaim it to us so that we may follow it? But the message is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart, so that you may follow it. See, today I have set before you life and prosperity, death and adversity. For I am commanding you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in His ways, and to keep His commands, statutes, and ordinances, so that you may live and multiply, and the Lord your God may bless you in the land that you are entering to possess. But if your heart turns away, and you do not listen, and you are led astray to bow and worship to other gods and serve them, I tell you today that you will certainly perish, and will not prolong your days in the land you are entering to possess across the Jordan. I call heaven and earth as witnesses against you today, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life, so that you and your descendants may live. Love the Lord your God, obey Him, and remain faithful to Him. For He is your life, and He will prolong your days as you live in the land the Lord swore to give you, to your fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So here, they are given two choices, and God gives us the same choice. We can choose life, and we can follow His path that He so clearly sets out in front of us. He tells us that it's not up in the heavens so that someone has to go and get it for us. It's not across the sea so that someone has to go and get it for us. It's right here in our hearts and in our mouths, and all we have to do is proclaim it. But we also have another choice. We can choose death. And in this, it's not meaning, it's not meaning literal death, but it's meaning that we choose our own path, and that often leads to destruction and can lead to despair and ruin in our lives. And so we have a choice. We can choose to walk in step with God and choose His will over our lives, or we can choose to say that I am the Lord of my life and I'm gonna go my own way. So I ask you this week, who is leading your adventure?